Hey, Spencer here, Dirt Bike TV. Today we're going to be showing you how to put on a really cool part that I really like, and it's the Enduro Engineering axle pull. So, pretty simple box. It's not very big. Come on in here so we can go through what you get when you get the Enduro Engineering axle pull box. They do send you a sticker. Check that out. Pretty cool. We have lots of stickers. We also have their handguards on here, so we don't need stickers right now, but they have instructions. And putting these on is pretty straightforward. It's not too hard. We'll still look at the instructions for those of you who may have got this part right here without instructions, so you can watch our video and see. So right here, 17 socket front axle nut, 10 like T-handle, unthread the plastic plug, long screwdriver or rod or the T-handle, knock out this cap right here. We're gonna knock out this thing. We're gonna knock that out. Then you tighten the axle like this. You put your Allen and you tighten this up where that plug used to be. So let's do it right now. So first things first, I'm gonna get off, come over here. I wanna get off the 17, right? Boom, look at that. Now, these axle pulls are pretty cool. One, they look good, especially on off-road bikes. Now, as far as on motorbikes go, I don't know how much we'd really use it, but it's still a cool part. So that 17's off. Now there's this 10. Just very gently take this out. Okay. It's a little plastic thing. Then, what we'll do is, using a 10 wrench, we'll just make sure that both of these are loose. And I know this probably isn't a completely necessary step. However, it is what I want to do, just to be sure. And we'll also take out the axle while we're doing this, to demonstrate how the axle pull will help. So that's loose. Come in here, go all the way through, and then go ahead and grab yourself a hammer and watch right here. This little thing will pop out. Gone. So now we have this, and that's when our part comes in. Now it doesn't say anything about Loctite. In theory, you could. I don't know if it's the greatest idea. I'm not sure if they have recommended against using Loctite. However, you could, in theory. Loosen it up a little bit, slide it in like that. And so what this does is, one, be able to give you something to grab to get your axle in and out, and two, it can also be a little extra protection right here. So before you had a little nub that was flush, now you got something that's protecting even a little bit more. And then I know that a lot of guys will have shark fins on the other side. And so tighten that up. You want it pretty tight, to be honest. So don't be afraid to get pretty tight. Now, because I'm already down here, I'm also going to take off the entire wheel in general. And you want to keep the other side, these other two pinch bolts on the other side tight, because I can't tighten this down without the axle moving. The axle was being held by the other pinch bolts. So what we'll do is we'll demonstrate how this axle pull from Enduro Engineering can help. But we're also going to put this thing back in, right? Remember this little cap with the 10? It just threads in on this side right here. And as far as this little cap goes, not too tight. It's plastic. So when you put that back in on this side, it's plastic, and it's very easy to cross thread it. So don't cross thread it as well. Just right there, we're good. Now, that. So see how I hit it like there, and like now I have a little bit here, but now I just have this right here that I can pull on. Hold it. And it sets down right there. Your axle's not going to roll away. as well, right? And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean our axle while we're at it down here. So to clean your axle, quick wipe. If you don't take good care of your axle, and you've hit it and stuff like that, or you kept rocks in there and you've tightened it up, probably has some burrs right here. We have a few videos on our Instagram showing cleaning up axles. What I'm gonna do is get a little bit of grease. We get a lot of questions about grease. Any waterproof grease is pretty good, but keeping in mind, you don't want a ton, because if you have a lot, it's just going to literally just ball up. Okay, so come over here so you can watch me when I put this wheel on. So what I'll do is I'll usually set my axle down right there, and it's not gonna roll away because I got this thing on, this axle pull on now. And so I'll pull it out of the brake pads so that you know I'm not cheating or anything. And so I have 1 foot underneath, slide in that front rotor, slide that in first, and then work my way up. Luckily on these KTMs, the front wheel spacers stay in pretty good. So that's in. I hold my axle pull, I lift it up. Now I want to come to this side and see how this is not lined up right. So I want to line it up and be able to push this fork leg in, and then just be able to push like that. You shouldn't have to hammer front wheels, especially. If you have to hammer your front wheel, you're not doing it right, or your axle's messed up, or your fork tube is messed up. Something's messed up. Stock bikes, like when you're getting your bike stock, you shouldn't have to be hammering anything. I'll clean up this nut here. These 17 nuts, sometimes you can get quite a bit of things in there. And here's the next part. Here's the next aspect of the throttle pull, which will be like, oh man. I'm gonna clean it up a bit more. I can feel that there's quite a bit of grit, not only in there, but on the nut itself. So you can get any sort of brake cleaner. You don't really want lube down there, because lube's just gonna attract more. Oh, I think I sprayed lube on it. Hold on, hold on. You don't really want lube. You could probably spray lube on it to start, and then from there, you can use some brake cleaner. So that's clean right there. Sprayed a little bit in there. Clean it out, get all the sand and grit out. See how much easier it threads. And now here's the next aspect of this axle pull that we really like. A lot of times on KTMs, a lot of people will think that their wheel bearings are out, when in fact, their wheel bearings aren't out. They just haven't tightened their front wheel properly. So you come over here to this side where we have our axle pull. Our axle pull is going to stop the axle itself from continuing to rotate. So when I come right here and I give it the nice tighten, the torque spec, whatever it is, I don't know. Good right there. See, before, sometimes you have to tighten this pinch nut so that the axle won't rotate, and then you have to loosen it and then re-tighten the wheel properly. But with this axle pull, I can literally just tighten this nut. Then from there, just our normal front wheel tightening. So we come over here, we get both pinch bolts on this side. These also have a spec, but I'm using a pretty short wrench. I'm not going to over tighten them. Then from here, you spin, and you can do multiple ways. Slam back and forth. You can do a little pull down. But you just want this fork leg to be free floating and to not be all bound up. Then, once you've set your fork leg and your wheel where it needs to sit, you can go ahead and tighten up this side. And you're good to go. And now, not only do you have an axle pull, which will help you be able to get your axle out easier and in easier, got a little bit more protection. and a little bit more bling. Cool little look, especially on these off-road bikes we love. This is our KTM. Come check this bike out. This is our KTM 2019 300XC. Not many like it. Let's see how many hours it's got. It's only got 35.5 hours. And we could sell this bike right now for a lot, but we really like it and we don't want to sell it. So thanks for checking that out. Thanks for Enduro Engineering for showing us how awesome these things are. We've seen them on KTM 6 days editions. We'll have these, but Enduro Engineering makes this cool part. It's awesome. They also make some good handguards as well. So go check them out.